Hello everyone and welcome back to another watch video. Today we're going to be focusing on something that I recently picked up. Even though it's been out for quite some time, I didn't pull the trigger on this piece until recently. But before then, today I am wearing my Bulova Surveyor. This is a watch that I actually have featured on another video, so I'll have that link down in the description in case you are interested. So the watch that we are going to be focusing on today, as if you don't already know, is actually a Tissot. In case you're not familiar with Tissot, which at this point in time, if you're interested in watches at all, go ahead and check them out. But my gut instinct tells me that many of you are very familiar with Tissot and some of their work. Tissot has been producing watches since 1853. It is often regarded as the entry point to the luxury Swiss watch market. And I would agree with that statement. Let's go ahead and open her up. This right here is the focus of today's video. This right here is a Tissot Seastar, reference T1204071704100. Hopefully I got that correct. Commonly known as, and more often known as, a Seastar 1000. This right here in particular is the automatic version powered by a Powermatic 80. Getting a more up-close look to this watch, there are things I really like about it and there are things I really dislike about it. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and talk about the specs, shall we? This is a little bit of a chunkier watch. It comes in at 43 millimeters in diameter. The case is 43 millimeters itself. But even though it's a 43 millimeter watch, the lug to lug isn't terrible. It's at about 49 millimeters. But having a 43 millimeter case size and a 49 millimeter lug to lug, it really lends itself to wearing smaller on the wrist, but it definitely has a nice pronounced circular case shape. Talking a little bit more about the case itself, it does have sapphire glass here on the front, mineral crystal exhibition case back here on the back. It does have a screw down crown with the Tissot T on it. This watch is 30 bars, so 300 meters or 1,000 feet of water resistance. So it is by all means a legitimate dive watch, again powered by the Powermatic 80, which in recent years has become more popular than ever before. It is a hacking and hand winding movement. It does have quick date changes, as you can see here on the bottom. Go ahead and screw that back into place. Looking at the accenting a little bit more before we take a look at this dial. A very interesting layered sandwich case pattern here, almost like if it has a window cutout, which it doesn't, but you have this very nice linear brushed finishing right here with a polished section in the middle, and this does translate to both sides minus the section where the crown guards are right here. Taking a look at the edging of this bezel, this really is a true coin edge bezel. It is 120 clicks unidirectional. Very nice and crunchy, very responsive, very tactile. Not much play or wiggle room at all, like if any, if at all. It's a very solid bezel. It is a ceramic bezel insert. While it's not a fully loomed bezel, it does have a loomed marker right here towards the top. It lines up nicely with the rest of the dial. The first thing I'm sure that jumps out at you is this very nice blue sunburst into almost a fume of blue into black with this chapter ring along the edge. It's a very nicely done. It does have applied indices with a lot of lume. It is super luminova all throughout this dial. Taking a look at the date wheel right there, it is a black date wheel that does blend in, and from a distance it almost looks color matched, might I add. Very, very large sword style hands. I would honestly say a little bit too large. With how small these indices are, I would have liked to have seen just some thinner hands, some thinner minute and hour hands, I should say, because this seconds hand towards the end right here is very nice lollipop style, very thin, has a good level of finesse, but then you get back over here to the counterbalance, which is a relatively large T. Now, I am all for branding and having some nice unique designs, but that T could have been a little bit slimmer to match, again, the rest of this dial profile. If there was anything I could change about this watch, it would be to give it a smaller handset. The symmetry of the dial having the date window here at the 6 o'clock position, I think balances things out enough. This reference that I got right here does come on the rubber strap, which I should have mentioned does come with its very own T right here. Honestly, not badly done though. It's subtle in terms of that it really integrates well with the design, and if you didn't know what you were looking at, you would just think it was another accent. You have a standard buckle here on the back with the Tissot name etched into the back. Very nice synthetic strap, rubber of course. As you can see, it follows the angles of the lugs rather nicely. And taking a look at the inside, it does have a very nice soft finishing. It is a very, very comfortable strap to wear. Standard spring bars in there. The one downside I need to mention, which it's not even a downside because there are plenty of options out there. It is 21 millimeters between the lugs, so it is a 21 millimeter strap. Taking a little bit of a better look at the case back, it is screw down. Again, you're looking at 1,000 feet, 300 meters of water resistance with this watch right here. So you'd really want a screw down case back. Mineral crystal for the exhibition case itself. Again, this watch is powered by the Powermatic 80, meaning you have 80 hours of power reserve, which is quite a bit when we're talking about automatic watches, especially sub $1,000. Speaking of the price, this watch right here retails for about $750. At least that's the MSRP that Tissot recommends you sell the watch at. I have never seen or heard of anybody actually purchasing this watch for $750. It is often found on sale anywhere between high fives and the mid sixes. So anywhere between $100, $150 off of the retail price. And that's what I got it at. I actually purchased this watch while I was on vacation from a Bloomingdale's in Orange County, and it was 20% off, so I paid $600 plus the applicable taxes. So here is the watch on my wrist, my average size wrist. And again, with this 49 millimeter lug to lug, even being at 43 millimeters, the watch wears or feels smaller than what it actually is. I do want to point out, I know 21 millimeters is a bummer for a lot of people as far as the lug width is concerned, but this strap is very, very comfortable. I can't imagine changing it out for anything else. Of course, the thickness being at just under 13 millimeters thick does help with the size, but there's no denying when they say the case shape is round, it is most definitely round. I would say if you have anything smaller than, 6 3/4, 6.5 inch wrist, I would go with a different model, not the 43 millimeter version. They recently came out with a 40 millimeter, which is nice as well, although that one doesn't have the ceramic bezel insert, if that's important to you. Now, while the watch is not subtle, like I mentioned, it is very, very comfortable. And it is a true diver. It has a very nice functioning bezel. It has plenty of lume. While the lume being super luminova, it is a little bit of a weak point because it doesn't shine as bright as some of its Japanese and Chinese counterparts at this price point, but it does last quite some time. It'll definitely last you through the night. I have no doubts that it will be decent enough to serve you on a dive as well. But let's be honest, we're more taking these watches on our summer pool parties than anything else. So, as we finish up this video today, I really want to ponder the question, is this the best value for money Swiss dive watch on the market? I mean, let's just think about it for a second. It is a little bit of a spec monster. I mean, we're talking about a automatic Swiss movement in a Swiss-made watch with sapphire crystal, ceramic bezel, super luminova, 300 meters of water resistance, sub $750. I mean, you can find it on sale sometimes for $550 depending on where you pick it up. At that price point, I am hard pressed to think of or find a better value for money in the Swiss market. I know some of you will be turned off by the Powermatic 80. It's a great movement. It runs fine. Some of you are going to be upset by the 21 millimeter lug width. My answer to that is, if you're a watch collector, if you're a watch connoisseur, if you're a watch enthusiast, you should have a variety of straps anyway. You'll be fine. If you're not a watch collector, if you're not buying multiple watches, this strap is so comfortable, you're never going to want to change it to begin with. And a lot of people are going to be upset by the 43 millimeter case size, but yet again, it's not a massive watch. It fits, or it wears smaller than the 43 millimeter size would lead you to believe. And even then, if it's too big, which it is too big for some, Tissot came out with a 40 millimeter version of the Seastar 1000 series. And to be honest, those dials might be a little bit nicer. So with all that being said, I truly hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know in the comment section down below. And also, let me know what watch you'd like to see featured on the channel at a later date. I'm more than open and happy to procure watches that you would like to see featured on the channel. So once again, thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you all in the next one.